Have you ever felt like anxiety is keeping you stuck in a cycle of overthinking and worrying that you can't break out of and is robbing your confidence? And you're not alone, because I've been there, because I've been struggling with anxiety since 8 years of my life, because when I was 10 years old, I got heavily bullied at school, and therefore I developed a generalized anxiety disorder, which means that I feel anxious every single second of the day, no matter what. And recently I discovered Memento, Mori, which is a framework, a perspective that you can adopt to drastically reduce your anxiety, and has actually stood the test of time and has been used by the Stoics since thousands of years. So by the end of this video, you know exactly how to apply it, how it will help you, and all of the benefits and why you should do it. So let's get into it. A couple of days ago, I was heavily stressing out about my finances, and I don't know why. I was just like on a walk, everything was fine. I was like just very calm and walking in nature. And all of a sudden, I just got a very anxious thought in my mind about my finances, and I was stressing out about not having enough money. What happens in the future? Like, what if something bad happens and I have to pay a bunch of money for my injury or for my driver's license test? And I just had these very irrational thoughts about my finances, and maybe you can relate to this, right? Like, everything is fine, but you're just worrying, and that it doesn't make any sense that you're worrying, but you're just worrying. And I was super stressing out, and then I was journaling about it. And as I was journaling about it, right, I came home and I was listening to a podcast by The Daily Stoic, by Ryan Holiday. And he was talking about the concept Memento, Mori, which completely destroyed my anxiety in the moment and put everything into perspective. And since I've adopted this mindset and I keep it inside of my mind all of the time, my life has drastically improved, and that's why I want to share it with you in this video. Memento Mori basically just means that you should remember and keep in mind that you will die. Because we as humans, we kind of, we try to avoid thinking about death, and we push it away, and we kind of believe, especially when you're younger like me, right, that you will live forever and you avoid thinking about it. But that can actually create an anxiety. And Robert Greene, in the book, The 48 Laws of Power, The Laws of Human Nature, he was actually speaking about like this anxiety that you have when you're constantly avoiding death. Because you have it in the back of your mind, but you're not, right? You try to avoid it by distracting yourself, by constantly going on social media and being mindless and just scrolling around and basically wasting your life. And the thing is, when you start to think about your death and you just acknowledge and keep it in mind that you are going to die and that your time is finite, it becomes this very scarce and useful resource. So when I was stressing out about my finances, I just thought about that I am going to die in 60, 70 years. And that I'm just 18 years old and I have this entire time, right? This very long, 70 years, but at the same time, short amount of time left to figure everything out. I have left so much time to figure everything out. I'm just 18 years old. I don't have to be a millionaire by now, right? But we constantly see these successful people on the internet, and it completely screws our mind up in a way that we constantly think we need to push and push and push, and we have to do things that we don't enjoy, and we constantly have to work, and everyone is doing better than us, but that's not reality. So just take a bit of time off and really think about that you are going to die, because that puts all of your problems into perspective. I could have been worrying about my finances over and over again, but it doesn't make any sense. I'm 18 years old. I can get a job. I can work on my business even more. I have a family. And what is the worst case that's going to happen? What's the worst case scenario? I have to move back in with my parents, and I'm fine. And why would you stress out about that? Like, maybe you have a presentation coming up, or like a job interview, or something that is really stressing you out, like a driver's license test or something like that. And you put so much pressure on yourself, right? You put so much pressure on yourself, and you're constantly thinking about the future, and you're so uncertain about your future that makes you very anxious because it's so unpredictable, right? And we as humans crave things that are familiar, that have a clear structure. We really want to know and be certain of what's going to happen in the future, which simply just can't figure that out. And when you think about death, it puts everything, all of your problems, all of your worries into perspective, because then you get the freedom to choose what you really focus on, and you get to decide what you actually want to do with this time. Right? There was another concept which is called time betting, which I read in the book, 30 laws of, I don't know, like 33 laws of the CEO or something like that, which was written by Stephen Bartlett, who is the owner of the podcast, The Diary of a CEO. And he was speaking about time betting, that every single hour you have a chip And every single hour it goes away, you lose a chip. And you constantly bet these chips on different things, right? So it's kind of like you're playing poker with your time, or like a gambling game with your time. You're betting all of these chips onto like an outcome, onto a reward. But let's say you want to make a bunch of money, and you're putting a bunch of time into that goal to get this big reward of making money. And you're constantly betting with your time. And that just puts everything into perspective, because you only have so many chips. You only have so many time, so much hours to bet on a certain outcome. So you really have to figure out what you want to spend your time doing or what you don't want to do. Do you want to spend your time worrying about everything and constantly being scared and being in a scarce mindset and overthinking and worrying about everything? It's just creating hell inside of your mind and not doing anything with your life. Or do you want to realize that you're going to die and that you have to use this time wisely, and this is the most precious thing that you have? You never will get your energy and time back, never. The last 6 minutes that you've spent watching this video are gone forever, and there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing. And you really have to put these things into perspective. And the denial of death, just avoiding death, is fueling our pursuit for goals, for materialistic items, and for distractions, which is just destroying us in a sense that we can't even comprehend. Because if you avoid thinking about death, and if you never think about it, you think you have so much time left to live. And when you're very young, you especially have a lot of time. And if you don't have clear goals, you just spend this time on distractions. And then life catches up, it goes faster than you can imagine. Then you're 25, and you look at your life and you've done nothing. You're out of shape, your mental health is really bad, you don't have a girlfriend or any love or any real connections in life, because you've just been wasting your time. And that's not a thing that I want to happen to me. And one exercise that you can do to really understand and grasp the concept that you are going to die is something called death meditation, where you just close your eyes and you lay down and you can put it in like some calming music. And at the start I thought like, I was kind of scared and this is weird and why would I think about my death? But I just imagined myself laying on my deathbed, my family's around me, and it just put again everything into perspective. Like, what is the one thing that I would want in my life? What is the one thing that I could not avoid or that I couldn't stand having in my life? What are all of the things that I can avoid? What are all of the things that I don't want in my life? And you really understand this, and you get like a scarcity and this urgency if you actually think about your death. Because you don't want to lie in your deathbed and you want to regret everything in your life, right? And you're not going to say, oh my God, I wish I didn't take that risk. I wish I didn't speak to that woman. I wish I spent so much more time worrying about useless stuff that doesn't matter. You're not going to think that. You're going to think, I wish I took more risk. I wish I didn't think about so many different things. I wish I would just live life more. I wish I would just have used my time more wisely, because now my time ran out and I can't do anything anymore. I just wish I would have created something meaningful and beautiful. And I gave a gift to the world and I'm contributing to humanity and making it a better place. That's probably what you're going to think. You're not going to think about the random time you were 18 years old and you were stressing out about your finances like I was. So I highly encourage you to use the concept of Memento Mori. Just keep it inside of your mind throughout the day. Really ask yourself at every hour of the day, is this necessary? Is this necessary? Is what I'm doing right now the best use for my time and my energy? And if not, really get clear on what you want and what you don't want. And the older you get, the more you will realize that you should spend your time more on things that you actually want to do. And it's time to let go of expectations, hatred, focusing on status or money or materialistic objects, because they won't make you happy. So if you want to apply these strategies, if you need help applying these strategies, you can book a free coaching call by clicking on the first link in the description. Thanks for watching, and please take action.